Hello, this is a demonstration of CardGraph22, which is a web application that allows the user to position HTML cards onto a graphic drawing area and then connect the cards with filleted lines and then assign relationships between the cards. An overview of the page shows the central drawing area here. The left sidebar, which contains the card templates, which I will show you how to use in a minute. Top is the nav bar, the menus, including documentation, which shows you how to use the product. And here, clicking on the logo at the top left of the page takes you back to the home page. And on the right, we have the settings. So to make a card in the drawing area, we just drag it over from the left sidebar. So we aren't going to want the text that comes with the template. So that's why we edit it to whatever we want it to be. We'll call this Amy Jones, and let's change the location like that. And we'll drag another card over, a vitals card, and we'll edit that and change the name, and we'll change the gender to female. And so we don't want these images, the default images from the template either, so we can change that by either doing the change picture button here, which brings up the file explorer. You can pick an image that way, or you can just drag and drop it from the desktop, which is what I just did. So we'll say OK, and I will make a connection between these two like that. And you can move a card by selecting the image and moving it around. You select the image and not the text or the card itself, because you may want to copy and paste the text that's actually in the card and copy and paste it somewhere else. So I made it so you just pick the image. Now, let's make a general card here. These two cards that I have up here are people. I want this general card to be something different. I'll make it a recipe. So May, as we see, left us in 2001. She left behind an apple pie recipe. So I'll edit this card to reflect that. I'll call that apple pie. We have 4 fields that we can fill in with whatever we want. I'll make the first one blank. I'll make the second one apple pie recipe. And I'll say that it's from around 1940, when May was 20. Now let's edit the content. I found an apple pie recipe on the web, so just paste that into the content area. And I will also change the image to be an apple pie, like that, and I'll say OK. Now let's look at the content, and there is what I just pasted in, which is the pie recipe. I'll make another relation here, and this will be oh, I never made the first relation. I'll do that now. Let's make a relation between Amy and May. I have a drop-down of default relations, which doesn't show up on the screen for some reason, but I'll use other anyway. I'll make her the niece and make Amy the aunt. And now I'll make the second relation here. This one is going to be May would be the cook, and the other is the recipe. like so. And so if you go into relations, we'd see those two relations there. So taking a look at these settings over here, pan just allows you to move the screen around. Scale does what it looks like, it just scales the drawing. You can also pan using the right mouse button if you want. Path fillets are on, but if I turn them off, then when I make a path like so, it's not filleted. I like having fillets, so I'll turn that back on. I use the term path and connector interchangeably. Grid display just turns this the background grid off. Grid snap, what that does is if I make a new card, what the snap does, it constrains the card to these the grid intersection lines. It also will constrain connectors to the intersection lines. So I'll go ahead and turn that off. Now that I've showed you that. I'll delete this. When you delete a card, you also delete any connectors that may be attached to it. And when you delete a connector, you also delete any relationships that are connected to it. This connector move, fluid and fixed, is fluid means that the system calculates the path as best it can. Whereas fixed, when you go later on into the drawing, when you start setting up things and you start placing things, you may want to not have the system calculate the path. So that's what fixed is about. You see how that top path is, in fact, none of the paths are moving. So what fixed means is that the system moves as few path linear segments as possible. So I moved it back to fluid. So, and this left sidebar, show and hide, is just gives you more room on the left and right side. You can still use them, but they just hide out of sight for, like I say, gives you a little more real estate. But I'll turn it back on to show. Like so. Now, what I want to do is, I added a new card here. I'll edit that and we'll make him the Acme Pie Company. Like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that if I don't want these two cards to be here, I can move the cards. I can move multiple cards. And of course, their connectors go with them. So here I'll make another relationship between, let's say, John Doe and Amy Jones. And this will be a business relation where he is the owner and Amy will be the VP of marketing, like so. And so we can see those relations here. Amy is in two of them. She has a personal and a business relation. You can sort these by clicking on the title up here. We'll say OK. Now, one thing that is important to note here is that we can have as many, right now these cards have 4 connecting nodes, but we can connect as many nodes as we like to, let me get a duplicate here. I'll do one between, say, apple pie and Amy. So you can see that apple pie has, on this one node, connector node, it has 2 connectors, and we can even add another relationship between the two, like Amy might be the, oh, I don't know, make her the cook as well, and say something like of maize pie. So those are in the relations. And so, and of course, when we add all these connectors, then they'll try to move as well. And of course, we can modify them and fix them to where we want them. And the only other thing to show would be, well, I'll show you the login screen. And this is where you can sign up for a new user if you want. And and this miscellaneous just shows a little information about the project. This is a one-person project at this point, so there's going to be a lot of things. It's an active project. I want to add more stuff to it. Right now it's just plain old HTML, JavaScript, jQuery, and CSS. But I am using 3 plugins, so I acknowledge those there. And like I say, some of the enhancements that I'm thinking about is, like different colors for and thicknesses for the connectors. And another one is, right now we have a general card. And even though it's general, it's all these fields and everything are fixed. I'd like to make a generic card where you can add what you want, add the fields you want, the title, the images, and so forth, to make it super powerful. At any rate, that's what we have at this point. Thank you for watching.